Well, welcome to Zag Talk Podcast Live. My name is Guy Danhoff, and I will be hosting tonight a very special edition. As we're going to be breaking a few exclusive stories that are involve some career changes from some of our 2022 Shape America National Teachers of the Year. And without further ado, one of the big stories that we're going to talk about is going to be the Jessica Matheson story. And we want to bring Jessica on now, and Jessica is from the great state of Minnesota.
Whoop, whoop.
Exactly. I know you're going to give that big shout out. So, Jessica, we just got to start out with, first and foremost, how are you doing?
I'm good. I am good. I'm excited for the future, and I think we'll see that that's a change from how I was.
So why don't we start with a little bit about your backstory? Because I know just a little over a month ago, we did a broadcast and we were celebrating our National Teachers of the Year. And I just thought it'd be maybe a great idea if you could give people a little bit about your backstory.
Yeah, so up in Minnesota here, I've been teaching for 10-ish, 13 years, depending on subbing and everything. Health and PE, I've taught AVID. I've played our district equity coordinator. I'm NHS advisor. I coach cross country. I coach track. I coach basketball. I do just a lot of things. I love being involved in the school that I'm teaching in. I love being involved in the community. And it's a lot, but I do truly enjoy teaching.
Well, with that, you must enjoy it enough because obviously a lot of your colleagues and certainly people around the country named you the Health Education Shape America National Teacher of the Year. Obviously, a lot of those photos were just taken a little over 2 months ago. And why don't you tell us what that whole experience was like on being nominated and certainly being the recipient then of the Teacher of the Year honor?
Woo! So I mean, let's back up a little bit. So 3 years ago, I took a year leave. We were having our third child, was going through aggressive cancer treatment, and we just thought as a family that it would be best for me financially, emotionally, just for me to stay home. So I took a year leave. It is not what I wanted to do. I loved teaching professionally. I didn't want to leave. I was not looking forward to being a stay-at-home mom. And I know my kids are watching. Sorry, guys. But I really wanted to be in the classroom. I pride myself on being a fantastic working mom. But I took the year leave, and I really got into staying involved with the profession just through social media. So I was active on Facebook. I was active on Twitter. And that's what made me still feel connected to the profession. So jump back to, I come back fall of 2019, and it's good. And things are seeming to get to normal, a new normal. We had change in family structures after my dad died, after we welcomed another child into our life and everything. But I was back teaching, and I was happy again. And then COVID hit. And with that, it really pulled into just kind of how much relationships really meant to me. And it put things into perspective. So with that, and my husband's a healthcare worker. He's working right now. He's pulling a double shift. So my mom and my sister have the kids right now. It's just really put into perspective things on how important family is and those relationships around. So then when COVID hit, I took that sense of relationships and I pulled that onto my students. And I think there is where people really started seeing my passion, my love, my desire for teaching, which ultimately I think led to my nomination for Minnesota Health Teacher of the Year. It was, within a week of me finding out that I won Minnesota Health Teacher of the Year, I also started my master's degree during the pandemic with a healthcare worker spouse with 3 very young kids. But that master's degree was positive coaching and athletic leadership. And that, again, all about relationships. So made it through that year as Minnesota Teacher of the Year. I decided to go for district. Jen Hebank, Randy Spring, and I were all kind of in it together, and we were a huge support system for each other, and two good friends that came out of this whole process. So then winning district, I was like, holy smokes, like what, this is me. I won district. And then which led us to Shape NOLA. And with that, as we know, I won, but it was hard to explain because I was tired and I was stressed at school. I felt fulfilled, but didn't feel fulfilled. It was just a bunch of emotions that came when, I mean, well, if you haven't seen the video of my acceptance speech, it was emotion filled. I cried through the whole thing, but it was almost a sense of accomplishment and pride, but frustration and disappointment, all wrapped into like, this is me as a teacher. And I don't know if non-teachers would understand that, but I have a feeling that most teachers would understand that to some level on being proud while at the same time being disappointed. And it's tough to describe. And that was where I was at in Shape NOLA.
Wow. And Jessica, as I got to know you, because we did a broadcast just a little over a month ago right here, and it was pretty amazing as we were celebrating, the 5 National Teachers of the Year. And then within a few weeks of that broadcast, all of a sudden, myself and I'm sure hundreds of other Twitter followers of yours had a chance to see what I'm calling like a little mini press release. As you know, I do work with the NFL and with get the chance to interview ESPN insider Adam Schefter, right? So this was kind of like a breaking news piece to me, and I was wondering if you could share with everyone. Obviously, it says something about you as a person, your character, and also your respect for the fact that you do represent being a National Teacher of the Year. But kind of, give the viewers a sense of, why did you put this out? Because this was, in the end, it was mean that you're going to make a big career change.
Yeah, I like to write. And this for me was my closure. It was tough to write, but at the same time, it was easy to write. Going back to this roller coaster of emotions where I'm pulled on two different ends. I had been in my previous school district for 6 years, and a lot happened in my life in those 6 years, while at the same time, I had fantastic coworkers. I had amazing students. I had the best community support. But I knew for me, it wasn't my forever home. The distance from my physical house, where my kids go to school, and where a lot of my life is, it was far. It made it very difficult for me to support my students in the evenings. I played the whole, do I come home right at 3:20 at the end of my duty day? I'd get home at 4. Should I eat a quick dinner to get back for 7 o'clock games and concerts and different events to support my students, just to drive home again, to turn around and drive back in the morning? Or do I stay? Do I just eat dinner in my classroom or try to go out and get a walk just for some self-care, but stay until 7 for these events so I can support my students, because that's what I want to do. And it wasn't happening. My mom is here, my sister is here, closer to home. We love the school that our kids go to, a Spanish immersion. We fully believe in that. And so I knew my past position was not my forever, but I wasn't complaining much. I had my typical teacher complaints that I would have in any school district. But I knew it wasn't forever. So Shape America came, and it just, or Shape NOLA, excuse me, and being awarded the Teacher of the Year. And when I was named Teacher of the Year, people started asking, like, so what are you going to do next? What are you going to do? People leave to consult. They leave to publish books. They leave to go on and do other things. I'm like, I'm not leaving. I'm not going anywhere. I love teaching. I'm going to be in the classroom. You know, and then it happened. I was asked by a couple states to present. I was seeing these other opportunities, and my previous school district was fantastic with me. I met with our new curriculum director, and we were going to put together a calendar and figure out what conferences and conventions I could go to, and he fully supported me. But I felt as though I would still have to turn down opportunities, and that was my perception. As I was being asked a couple more places, and I didn't want to start to resent working, having to give up on these opportunities to grow as a teacher by presenting and attending these conferences. And I didn't want that maybe resentment to then go on to my students. I didn't think it would be fair to them for me to be feeling like, oh, I really wish I was presenting at this place right now, but I'm here instead. And so that was one of the big contributing factors.
So, Jessica, my next question is going to be, and this is kind of important. You know, I'd asked you off camera and just preparing for tonight in our broadcast, you know, and I want to ask this question because I think a lot of our viewers would like to hear this. And also, I want to share out or shout out to all our viewers. If you'd like to ask Jessica a question, feel free to put it in the comments, and we will definitely, you know, broadcast it here, because now I think what people really want to listen to is what took you to the next level. I mean, what took you to making that final decision? And you said it happened to be attending K-Shape, and I was wondering if you could just kind of just give us a little background to that of how it helped you make this final decision to make the move and resign from your current teaching position.
Yeah. So at the end of June, I was at Kentucky for their Kentucky Shape for Move Thrive. And as you can see from the pictures, some amazing, fantastic people that I was able to connect with. And just through conversations, it just led me to this decision. It was almost like everyone was in a place where they were supposed to be at that time for me to make this decision. First night I was there, I was out, we were getting dinner, and it just so happened I had two people sitting across the table from me who had just left their teaching positions to go into a different area with the state of Kentucky to help advocate for the profession. And I sat there and I questioned them. I said, why did you choose to do this? What was it that got you to go? Do you regret it? And one was like, I just made the decision. I don't know. And one had been in it for a year or two. And they both were like, no, I haven't regretted it at all. And I'm like, okay, you know, and so I'm grilling them, like we're trying to eat. And I'm like, well, what about, you know, and I just keep asking them. And at that point, I was like, they don't regret it. Their decisions, super family based, which are the same as what's making me want to make that decision as well. And I'm like, I don't have to leave. I don't have to go anywhere. I can still be involved. I'm the Teacher of the Year. I have this platform. So I kept thinking about it. I was talking with Maria Schneider, poor Maria. She was my roommate, and she had to listen to me the entire time we were there. Should I? Shouldn't I? Well, what do you think? She's trying to go to sleep. I'm like, but should I? What do I do? What if I don't get another job? You know, because full transparency here, I've been non-renewed twice in my career already. So right now I've got a non-renew, and a resignation. So I recognize that might hurt for me in the future, but I still did it, you know, just through all of these conversations and the fantastic people that I talked with in Kentucky.
Wow. Well, I know one of them, and this one, I'm going to be very honest with you, came as a surprise to me. And that is obviously with Rebecca L.A.K. or Lake, as we like to call her, at least like she lets us say that, as we all know, Rebecca was the 2022 Shape America National Elementary Physical Education Teacher of the Year. And I think what I'd like to do, if Jessica, you're okay with this, and I know that it was kind of, could we pull this off or not? Well, we're going to, because right now we're going to zag bomb. And you know me with my love of always bring on guests. So we're going to bring in right now Rebecca, all the way from Maine. And Rebecca, first and foremost, how are you doing?
Yeah, I'm doing great. It's been a great, interesting year. Like Jessica said, kind of a roller coaster, but just keep moving forward and learning new things and celebrating it.
So what I want to start with, Becca, if you could you maybe give us some insights as to what you and Jessica were talking about at K-Shape?
Well, I was so excited to get invited to present at K-Shape as well. And I was looking around and said, okay, who am I going to have lunch with? Because, you got to figure out those minutes that you have to have lunch before the next session and whatnot. And I said, you know what? I don't know Jessica that well. Let's go have lunch. And so we walked and talked the entire time on the way to go find a place to eat, and the entire time there and the entire time back. And it was just a fabulous conversation of getting to know each other and getting to hear how connected our lives are and similar stories.
Well, could you get a little more specific to the conversation and when she broke the news to you that she's contemplating this big decision?
Well, she said, should I resign? I said, well, I mean, I'm not one to talk because I'm literally on my way moving across the country, and I've left my position as well already. So I taught in Austin ISD for 13 years and 5 years at my last school. But as this year came to a close, I found out that the best situation for my family was to move. And my husband got a job doing what he loves to do, teach people to be PE teachers, and amazing work at that. And it just came at a time in my school district that this decision was not as hard as it could have been for us because of the changes that were happening to our elementary physical education program that I advocated for the whole semester and into this summer, even after my resignation. But it made it an easier decision to make a life change for our family this summer. And so we're on our way moving to Connecticut, and Bob will start his job at Southern Connecticut State University. And I will start my year of celebration and enjoying our almost 2-year-old and just getting to see where the year takes us and how I can use this platform for advocacy. We figured with there being this big of a move and transition in our life and having a young child that it just didn't make sense to try to find a school for me on a moment's notice when you don't know the systems and the schools
Right.
and whatnot. And so we're going to explore the area, and I'm going to hopefully travel and see lots of people and learn from them so I can bring that around to other people and so that I can continue on in an amazing career in this field.
Absolutely. So just to to recap quickly for those of you who may have just joined us. So here it is. We have 2 of the 5 National Teachers of the Year that in the last 30 days have decided to resign from their teaching positions. Becca, yours, obviously, you're traveling across country. You're currently in Maine right now. And then Jessica, obviously, with your big decision. But both of you, here's the storyline to me, though. Both of you are still going to continue to advocate for the health and physical education profession. It's just going to look a lot different in heading into certainly the fall of 22 and into 2023.
Yeah, 100%.
Now, yeah. And now, Becca, correct me if I'm wrong, but so when I started questioning you, I think my reaction was, wait, what? You did? You did? So can I do it too?
And I was like, yeah, I mean, let's do this. But we're working on all the plans and how we can advocate and how we can and best use this platform.
Yeah. I mean, we came up with, well, what if we try to do this and that? And, we started brainstorming all different ways that we can use this platform that we have. And then with time that we wouldn't have if we were in the classroom to make for a better profession for other teachers and for us in the future. I plan on going back. I don't know about you, Becca.
Yeah.
Yeah, I plan on going back.
And I think it's this idea that we have this platform, but it's really that we get to go out and see. I don't know about everywhere else, but a lot of people are isolated in their school. In elementary positions, there's only one teacher often, and maybe there's not, or maybe you're in a position where there's not other motivated people on your staff. And so this idea that we have this platform and getting to go around the country and getting to see other people is getting to help share each other's stories, not just our story, but getting to help build us all as a profession.
Absolutely.
Well, Becca, we want to thank you so much for zag bombing us tonight, and certainly always tell your husband hi from us, certainly from me. As you know, it's one of the greatest pictures ever. I'll post it on this Thursday, on Throwback Thursday. I'm going to throw out the picture where he's got the watery eyes as you were giving your acceptance speech, certainly at Shape NOLA. So, Becca, we thank you for sharing your story and giving us some insights as to the conversation that you had with Jessica, as now both of you have now, are made a huge career change. So thank you so much, Becca. We wish you all the best, especially with your new life in Connecticut.
Thank you.
Thanks, Becca.
All right, really quick, we're going to just take a look and see. Oh, look at that. Well, I had to leave Becca on for that. Come on, right? Hashtag crush. And hold on, we got one more comment.
Wait, is he talking about me? Two of them.
And this is from Missouri. Yeah, obviously. Thank you, Becca and Jessica. Absolutely. So, Becca, thanks again. And seriously, as I've gotten to know you and certainly getting to know Bob more, it's just been a real blessing to get to know both you. And it's going to be fun to hear all the great things going on in Connecticut coming up this fall. All right, Jessica, now let's kind of go back to Shape NOLA for everyone. And actually, kind of like one of the questions I have for you is one of the other cool things that came out of this class of 2022, and that is that there's a Minnesota connection. And I understand that from Tom Roberts and Megan McCollum, your executive director, and others in your state, they're very proud of you and one other National Teacher of the Year, and that's the Adaptive Teacher of the Year. And who might that be?
Yes.
Let's see.
Okay. So, and I said this in our last broadcast, but I don't know if everyone was there. So I'm going to repeat it. So what you see on the screen with the Teachers of the Year, that's the order that they were announced. And we had to wait. It was the closing session. So we were there all week. And it was the end of the closing session. So we had to go through 3 keynotes and everything. So they do Adapted PE Teacher of the Year. And of course, I want Jen to win, but all the district teachers for Adapted are fantastic. Mm-hmm. So I knew any of them would be great. But when they announced Jen, I was so happy. But at the same time, I was like, there's no way they're going to have 2 from Minnesota. There's no way I didn't win. Oh, no. But we did. So we've got 2 from Minnesota. And I'm just so happy, that, like I said, we were 2020s together in Minnesota, and we've gone through this process. We've become friends because of this whole thing. And it's just so fantastic to share in the great state of Minnesota with her.
Well, Jessica, I got some incredible news to share with you. Jen has also been subject to being zag bombed right now. We're bringing her on live. So right from Minnesota to Minnesota, we've got Jen. And first of all, Jen, how are you doing? It's great to see you again. Like, I just think I just saw you like a month ago on the celebration broadcast. So how does it feel to, be here right now and be part of this very special edition as we're talking about change? And I have to start here, though. Just so we're clear, you are returning back to your same school, right?
I'm staying in Buffalo. I love my job. I love my people. I am staying.
So Jen, what was your reaction when Jessica made this big decision?
I know that she had been thinking and questioning and texting me and just going like, what do I do? And so I'm like, I don't know. But like the thing is, like, we know that Jess is an amazing person, amazing teacher, and she's gonna, wherever she lands, she's gonna do amazing and care about the people that she's with. And so when she said that, I know Twitter kind of went wild, but I was like, yeah, there's Jess. She made a decision. Yay! So I was just really proud that she was able to kind of get that off of her chest, because I know it was like heavy on her. So
Absolutely. So what I would like to do now is, thanks to Jessica, we did a little digging around, and look what we found. We got a bunch of photos there, and Jen, you want us to kind of start the conversation, and then certainly Jessica jump in. But let's talk about how your state reacted. There you are, to you from Minnesota. Certainly very cool for both of you to be named Teachers of the Year.
yeah, I think our state was pretty proud. Just initially from the texts and everything that I got immediately, social media feedback, like, wow, 2 from Minnesota, that's amazing. But this article, the picture that you see with the article, that was done by Rob LaPlante, who is a journalist with the Wright County Press. I think is it called the Wright County Press, Jess? I think so. But just the Wright County, yeah, in Wright County, Minnesota. And that's where Jess and I were together, like down the street, teacher neighbors. And so I think it's funny because he emailed both of us, but like the majority of the article is about me. And I just laughed so hard because I thought it was going to be about, both of us. And but it was really fun to see that.
Full disclosure, my school district spans 2 counties.
Yeah.
So we're only part Wright County. Jen is all Wright County. We're just part. So maybe that's why.
Maybe. Yeah. So, but anyway, so that's kind of what you're seeing in that newspaper article. And then the middle left is like right after we won our awards, like what just happened, what is happening right now. Just trying to get a picture. I didn't even get a picture of myself, but I got a picture of Jess and I. Obviously you did too. But it was just like, whoa, what is happening? And then the picture of us all dressed up, that was at the coolest night where they just like featured they had the interviewers that did our presentations, or they did our they reviewed all of our materials for Teacher of the Year nominations.
Yeah.
And they bragged about us and like made us feel so good and like fed us good food and made us cry. And it was just really fun to just get dressed up. We're Phy-Ed and health teachers and adaptive PE teachers. We clean up well, but no one sees it. And so it was just fun to hang out and get all dressed up and wear makeup and stuff. And then the far right side, that was at our Central District meeting at Shape NOLA, and that was where we got to receive our Central District Awards. Again, just really fun to do it together. Like this whole journey together has been pretty special, and not a lot of teachers get to have nationals that do the whole thing together in the middle of pandemic, no less. So it was just really great to celebrate that with Jess.
That is so cool. And Bob's got there you go. District Teacher of the Year celebration event at Shape NOLA. It's just so great. And it's so great now to see that actually Tom Roberts is on live right now.
Yay.
And what I want to tell you is, I'll just flash my phone up here. About 5 minutes ago, Tom actually texted me directly and says, Minnesota and MinShape could not be more proud of you two. So I think that puts everything into perspective of certainly, just being able to celebrate these high honors for both of you. And so as we transition, Jen, we got one last thing we want to talk about, because I was watching just a few weeks ago, you two were in San Diego, and you guys came up with this video series called You Betcha. And I was wondering if you could tell me kind of the thought process behind that, but still tell our viewers, first of all, what was going on in San Diego with our National Teachers of the Year. And I'll let Jessica, you start with that, and then Jen, you can chime in.
Okay. Yeah. So the District Teachers of the Year were invited by our partner networks out to San Diego to prep for Shape Seattle, to get to know each other, to bond. And if these pictures don't show you that we had a fantastic time, let me tell you, we had a fantastic time. It was so nice to be able to get to meet everyone on a non-pressure, non-stressed time. Because when we met in New Orleans for the first time, I mean, it was stressful, and it was, you know, for me, it was my first time at a national convention. So I was overwhelmed, plus just all of the emotions riding into. It's a tough application process that you go through from state to district to national. And we're right at the end of it in New Orleans. So this here in San Diego, like, it was so much fun. I can't even describe it. Jen, you describe it.
I would say we all thought we were going to do a whole bunch of work, but then the work was just like getting to know each other. And, you know, kind of starting to put together our presentations for Shape NOLA, but really the depth of it, as Julie from Spark said, our goal is to have fun. And I was like, we can do that. I'm good at that. And so we spent a lot of time just getting to know each other, exploring the city. Some of us had cars, some of us rode in a Tesla that somebody else had and had a first Tesla experience. Went to the beach, had really good food, had like midnight snack, ice cream sandwiches, just really got to know people outside of the HPE world. And I would say after being in the pandemic and not being around people, this was like so much what my heart needed. Like at the end of the school year, all of us were kind of just done, loving our students, but like we're done. And being in a room, I think I said this in one of our videos, Jess, that when you have that amount of passion and energy and love of what you do and all these people, like the 20 people around you, like I'm not ready to go back to school, but it really starts to turn my heart and my brain. And like, I just get really excited about going back to teaching because everybody that was there just loves kids and loves all we do so much.
Absolutely. Jen, I just want to thank both of you for you betcha. I got to tell you, the one where you guys were standing on the rocks with the waves crashing in, that was just so incredible. I was jealous. I was like, okay, let's just get GoPros on you. You guys just go under the water. Okay. I mean,
we were not going in.
No, I know you guys said, both of you said
so
it was very
cold.
Yeah, it's what you both said. So,
and we might have gotten eaten by sea lions.
So we got to check in with, oh yeah, here we go. Bob's got something to chime in on. That is the new Teacher of the Year process from Shape America has the potential to streamline the process from state, district, and to national. Yeah. I know that in our state, we're looking into, making, contemplating some great changes to the new Teacher of the Year format. And yeah, exactly. It's going to be great. I think what all of us took away from, if you were following these, certainly on Twitter, Instagram, or Facebook, is that not only you guys were having a good time, but I mean, you truly are on the front lines of being our strongest advocates, just because of the fact, like you said, when you get honored in that kind of way, because everyone's just going to be asking you questions, and what they find out is you're just real people. But our real strength is, and I liked what Terry Drain, past president, but during Shape NOLA, that was her presidency year, and that is, we are Shape America. And I think that's what all of you did, seeing some from the class of 22, and then of course in other classes as well. And I really enjoyed all the social media that was going on out there. So thanks to both of you for doing that, because I found it kind of entertaining once you guys kind of got your groove. You can see as the time went on, I mean, you had so much more fun and getting to know people. You had more narrative as the first day,
Well, and so full disclosure for anyone watching, these are one takes. Like the one we had to do because, okay, the one, okay, if you haven't seen any of them, I'm going to tell you which one to go to first. Go to the one where, Jen, what were you? Were you a whale?
I think I was a whale.
Or something. And I was I on a jet ski?
You're on a jet ski, and your color of your hair matched perfectly with the painting of the guy on the jet ski. So it just looked like your hair was flowing and beautiful.
So if you haven't seen any, that's that's the one to start with. And that one, we will admit, that was a 2-taker. But I don't even know if it's because of Jen and I. Like, we had Jess was recording and she was laughing so hard. And then we had 6 people that we were walking with as well, standing there watching us as well. Just everyone was just laughing and we just couldn't. So we had to do that. But otherwise, I mean, they're all 1 takes and we really don't plan, and we just kind of go with it. And Jen, when's our next one?
So we are heading to Shape Iowa tomorrow. And so
you'll see more.
You will see more. And Jess and I plan to do a few more conferences together in the next couple months. And so we started You Betcha not knowing what would become of it. And I think the video series, I don't know, it has potential to just kind of take off. You never know.
Does it?
You betcha.
We're going to keep doing it.
And that's all going to start tomorrow, right?
Yeah. So, and here's the thing. I just came up with the idea before I even told Jess. I'm like, no one knows what we do as National Teachers of the Year. Like, I don't even know what people before me did. And I feel like putting together these little, just like 1-minute clips. So it kind of gives like a bite size of what you experience, what you're doing, the people that you meet, the laughs that you have, the jokes. Like, I think it might become one of our fun things that we do for this whole year, just to kind of show our journey, and so the next step in our journey will be Shape Iowa, and then we'll talk about MinDape and MinShape. So it'll be fun.
Wow. So that's basically what's next for both you and Jessica, correct? And you guys leave tomorrow, right?
Yep.
Wow. So looking forward to seeing You Betcha right there on Twitter. Hashtag
You Betcha.
Yeah, that's easy to remember. So, Jen, we want to thank you for stopping by and Zag Bomb and Jessica. We always love bringing on guests and cannot wait to see your broadcasts coming up, your 1-minute videos. And just so you know, when it comes to videos, it's okay to take multiple takes.
No,
it is.
That's what I said, but she's like, no, let's just post it. And then she doesn't watch it. I have to watch it 15 times to be like, oh, that looks really good. And then she's like, I'm not even gonna watch it. So there you have the differences.
Nope, I don't even watch it. I just say post it, go for it.
Well, I'll just say this. Minnesota treats their social media a little different than we do in Missouri. I'll just say that. That's why they have edit features. It's all good. Jen, again, appreciate you so much and want to wish you all the best as you head into going back to your school. Certainly, with all the work that you're doing with adaptive physical education, and can't wait to see you soon. Probably Shape Seattle when I see you next. But you never know when you might be Zag bombing someone again.
Yep.
So thanks for coming. Yep. Thanks for coming on.
Yep.
All right. So Jessica, anything else you want to add to this because really what we're looking at is what's next for you and kind of give some people a little more insight as to what you're going to be doing moving forward.
Yeah. So the what's next for me and what I know is what's next. So the picture I have here on the left is my very first time presenting. So chose an outfit that my students often complimented me on. So I was feeling good because I was a little nervous. But I had everything set up. I knew my links worked. I clicked through my slides multiple times. I ran through it. I had a layout of what I wanted the room to look like, where all of my equipment would be. I was ready. And then I walk in and you can kind of see on the left here, we've got Leah Swedberg. She's out of North Dakota. She was the district health teacher of the year at the time, Central District. And we've got Sarah GH, so national PE teacher of the year. And I'm like, okay, I planned for this. I am ready. I'm wearing an outfit that I feel good in. And I've got these 2 fantastic teachers here and I'm presenting in front of them. Holy smokes. But you know what? I loved it. And since then, I have truly found a passion in presenting. I love being able to share things that I do in my classes, and then also being able to learn from others as well. Whether it's in my sessions, people saying, I would do this, or how about that as well, or being able to go to other people's sessions when I'm at these conferences.
Mm-hmm.
So what I know is tomorrow I'm going to Shape, Iowa. So I'm going to be presenting there. We've got on August 1st, I am going to, do you mind putting that slide back up real quick?
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Go.
I am going to start a Twitter chat. So I'm going to do a health question of the day, where just each day I'm going to be posting on Twitter. It might have something to do with health, or it might be a Jessica Matheson question that you're like, where did you just come up with this? But I'm going to do it one question every day, just to stay connected with the community and just to keep things talking. And it's, for me, it's going to be something where I'm going to take some pride in it, in just kind of still feeling like I'm a teacher type of thing. So I'm going to do that every day starting August 1st. At the end of September, I am going to go and volunteer at MnDape. I am very excited for it, our Adapted PE conference in Minnesota. So we have all 4 Adapted PE District Teachers of the Year coming to Minnesota. So I have volunteered to pick them up from the airport, to bring them around, to tweet out things, because I do that every once in a while. I have just said that I will do whatever MnDape wants me to do. So I'm excited to be going there, not as a presenter, but as a volunteer, and just to be able to give back to the community, because if I were teaching, I wouldn't have that opportunity. I know we've got MnShape coming up as well in November. Those are all things that I know that I've got. I'm looking forward to more opportunities to present, to attend conferences, to meet people, to build relationships, and in turn, make me a better teacher. Because again, I don't plan on leaving the profession. I will be back. It's just what capacity I'll be back in, I'm not sure, but I do know that I'm still around. So I'm really looking forward to those what's next.
Absolutely. And Jessica, thank you obviously for just being so transparent tonight and really sharing your story. And I have a little bit of relatively breaking news, and I think it's just really important. And I'm just going to check the chat really quick. Yes, and that's exactly right. The relationships and connection we build is why this profession is so truly special. And obviously, I couldn't agree more. But I do want to let you know, Jessica, one of the things that we talked about was that so everyone can understand these life changes that Becca has made, that you have made. But now what's really also amazing is we do have a very featured special guest. This person came on at your request because they've also got a very interesting story that aligns close to yours. And just so happens to be another National Teacher of the Year of the class of 2022. And that's going to be no other than Charles Rizzuto. He is the 2021 Shape America National High School Physical Education Teacher of the Year. And Charlie's got an amazing story. And again, so much has happened in the last 30 days, really since the last time we did that broadcast right here, on the live stream. And let's bring Charlie on right now. And Charlie, first and foremost, how are you doing, my friend?
I'm doing great. I'm excited to share a little bit of my story and support Jess and hers tonight as part of the broadcast. It's been really hot here in New York the past few days, but gave us some opportunities to go outside, play with the kids, and excited to talk a little bit about my recent transition.
Yeah. So Charlie, just for everyone's benefit, kind of give us a little bit about, a little background and backdrop on you and kind of your journey a little bit, so that I think that people can get a better understanding of the decision you recently made, and certainly how you're going to continue to advocate for this profession at the highest level.
Yeah. So I think the best place to start, because it connects with my recent change, would be even way back when I was in high school, right? So I always had my why, right? And that was it, and it still is, simply to have a positive impact on the trajectory of a kid's life. It took me a little while to figure out what my what was going to be, right? What I was going to do to live my why. And, I went to school to be an English teacher because I love literature and I loved writing. And then I didn't, that wasn't really the fit. And I continued school and I just switched majors to become a guidance counselor, and that wasn't really the fit. So I graduated with my bachelor's in human services and counseling. And then I took some time, reevaluated everything, and really saw that being a health education teacher was the perfect what to fit my why. And I started subbing, and I got into a great district here on Long Island, and I was subbing there. And then I was a teacher assistant there. And then I was a part-time teacher there. I'm sorry, I was a leave replacement first. Then I was a part-time teacher. And in that time, I was offered some other jobs, or had opportunities maybe to go and interview for some jobs that I thought I had a good shot at getting. But I really wanted to be there. So I kind of waited it out a little while. And a few years, after teaching part-time for a little while, I was, lucky enough to get a full-time position, health and physical education. And then, during my career, I was lucky enough to be on podcasts and have opportunities to write and textbooks and articles and blogs and present, multiple places, and work with some amazing students.
Wow. And so, again, a month ago we celebrated, you and certainly being the high school national teacher of the year. And tell everyone now what decision you've made, because it's a big one. And I think everyone would find it very interesting. And I'm sure might be some viewers out there that are maybe contemplating making some change themselves. So why don't you share with everyone a decision you recently made?
Yeah. So a few years ago, I went back to school to get my school district leadership and then my school building leadership, never really knowing and never really thinking too hard whether or not I would ever use them. I went to get them because I like learning, right? So I wanted to see education from a different perspective and kind of learn the administrative leadership side of education. And then this year, I stepped down from coaching lacrosse in my district. And it was a weird timeline, right? And it was weird how things came together. So when I stepped down from that position, I started the program there 10 years ago. I was the only varsity coach I'd ever had, and put everything I have into my teaching and running that program. And I stepped down for a few reasons. But rumors started to fly around at that time that I was leaving the district. And I wasn't. I hadn't applied anywhere. Some people had told me like, hey, this is open, that's open. And I didn't apply for anything because it would have taken the perfect opportunity for me to leave where I was, right? And then right around Regions time, I became aware of a position that was posted that was perfect. So it was an assistant principal position in an amazing district with amazing people, brilliant people. And I applied for it. And I learned how brilliant they were, obviously, after I got the job. I knew that the district and the community was amazing upon applying. So I went through 4 interviews in 6 days, which was a lot and head spinning, but I liked it, right? So those of you that have interviewed before, which I'm sure most of you have, right? When you interview for a teaching position, you go on your interview, and then sometimes you wait a few days to find out whether or not you're moving on. I found out every night whether or not I was moving on because the turnaround was so fast. And then I was offered the position. But when I got to those later rounds, I started to think really, really hard. And I came to the conclusion that, if I was lucky enough to be offered a position in this place, I was going to take it. And everything felt so comfortable in the process. I've been telling people that when I went to the committee interview, right? Like, I don't get scared of interviewing, right? I like it because I don't view it as a test. I look at it as an opportunity to show people what I know, what I think I can do. And if it's a good fit, it's a good fit. If it's not, no harm done, right? But when I went into that committee interview, it felt very homely, right? It felt like forget the fact that, interview anxiety, put that aside, it felt super comfortable.
Mm-hmm.
And the questions that they were asking me, I was like, yes, like these are the questions that I want to answer. These are the things I want to talk about. And you just start to feel like this mesh. And when I left the committee interview, I thought I did well. I don't know what they thought, but it just felt really, really good. And when the interview ended, there was a teacher on the committee, and he actually said, Charlie, I have one more question for you. So I was looking through your resume, and the same person started the interview, right? Started by saying, I see you won National Teacher of the Year. Congratulations. And then he concluded the interview by saying, I see on your, you've written a lot of things, and you wrote something a while back before COVID that says an open letter to the part of me who wants to quit teaching. He said, can you tell me a little bit about that letter or that article? And I did. And I told him that it was an article that basically talked about some of the things that Jessica referenced earlier, right? Some of the hurdles that teachers are always jumping over, and the things we have to climb over, and the things that we deal with that nobody sees.
Right.
How when we get through all of that stuff and the stress and the anxiety, and when we come out on the other side of it, there's nothing that could get us to want to actually quit teaching, right? So it was almost like a letter to myself about overcoming all those obstacles, right? And then after I got the position, I saw him in the hallway my first day at work, because I started already. I got board approved, and I was at work 8 a.m. the next morning, right? Those of you that know me, that comes as no shock. And he saw me in the hallway. He's like, I read your article. I loved it. And I sent it out to a bunch of other people. So like everything just gelled, it just meshed. And like I said, I'm 8-9 days in now. And everything just feels right.
Well, congratulations, first and foremost, Charlie. That's an amazing story. And, I think what I want our viewers to come away with is that now, Charlie, bringing you on, that means that 3 out of the 5 2022 National Teachers of the Year have made significant career changes. But what's been great about all 3 of your stories, you're doing it for the purpose of advocating in different ways. And in your case, Charlie, when you get to be, assistant principal, maybe even superintendent someday, you're going to be able to advocate in unique ways that you haven't been able to do before. And I just, want to thank Jessica just for, tell me about your story. And I just could not believe the timing of it. I was like, do you think you'd come on the broadcast and share that story? Because I think there are some teachers that have been thinking about, right, maybe administration is for me, because I know that I've talked to a few people in the last few years that had been National Teachers of the Year, and the following year they then went into administration. And so anyways, I just wanted everyone to hear your story as well. I just find it fascinating that, again, of our 5 National Teachers of the Year, 3 of you in the last 30 days have made some pretty big career changes. And Jessica, as we start to kind of, wrap up tonight's session, is obviously we're talking about change. I want to know, Jessica, why you wanted Charlie's story to be told tonight.
Well, I think how Charlie ended his story right there, how he was talking about how it just felt right.
Mm-hmm.
As you heard from my story, I went back and forth. And I mean, I was reaching out to multiple different people. Some of my coworkers knew that I was thinking about this. Obviously, my whole family knew. They even got the text like, I am planning on resigning tomorrow. You need to let me know if you do not approve. Like, this was in a group text, and it was approve, approve, approve. My mom, my sister, my husband, like everyone said approve. And I know that there was a day where I needed a day off. It was late May. We were almost done with school. And I was not doing well. And I took a day, and I was messaging with someone on Twitter. And I'm not going to say who they are, because they've actually left teaching as well. They are still very involved with the profession. I look up to this person. He is fantastic. And I was through Twitter DMs. I was messaging him, and I'm like, I'm at the store right now. I bought myself flowers, and I bought myself ice cream. #self-care. And it just, and that's what I was doing. And I love teaching. Don't get me wrong, but it's like, what am I doing? And
Right.
right now, after making that decision, like Charlie said, it felt right. It felt comfortable. For me, I'm excited about my future. And I know it's tough right now. Like it is very tough right now. Um, but I'm really happy that I explored these other options. And I understand I have a little different opportunity that maybe other people wouldn't have, that I can do it. But I think what's important to know is there are ways that you can still be involved in education if you need just a little bit of time. There
Mm-hmm.
are sabbaticals, there are leaves of absence, um, or grind it out. I mean, you've got to know you, but you've got to do what's best for you. And right now, I'm really excited for me and what my future is. But I plan on going back. I plan on being in the classroom again at some point.
Absolutely. And Jessica, as we kind of wrap things up, I just want to kind of give Charlie, like we did the other broadcast, Charlie, give you one final word, kind of maybe some encouragement even, and then Jess, you can wrap things up before I announce what's going to happen on next week's show. So Charlie, give you the final word.
Yeah, so I kind of want to thank Jess for being comfortable to share her story, right? And I know that it takes a lot, because without this platform, right? And Guy, thank you for providing her the platform to share her story, because without this platform, sometimes people might wonder, right? And it gave her an opportunity to explain. And Jess, your authenticity and your vulnerability, like it's something that people in the profession should look up to, because a lot of people get stressed, right? And a lot of people feel a type of way. And oftentimes they keep it inside because they don't know how others might view it if they kind of just let that out a little bit or had a conversation with somebody. So I think there's a lot of people out there that could relate to your story, and I appreciate you sharing it. And like I said in the tweet where I kind of announced my move, like I'm not going anywhere, right? Like I'm leaving in the morning to go to New York State AFERD meetings, right? I'm still going to be involved on, social media and presenting, if I don't see you before Seattle, I'll see you in Seattle, right?
Yeah.
Because we'll be there. So I just, like I said, it's a new journey for me in education, and it's an opportunity for me to live my why, still just sitting in a different seat.
Absolutely. Charlie, just want to thank you again for coming on the broadcast, and we'll see you on. And Jessica, you get literally the final word before I make the announcement for next week's broadcast.
I think I still teaching is the greatest profession. It totally is. None of us are leaving teaching. I think that's what the most important is. We're using our voices in a completely different way right now, but as teachers. And I think that's kind of the takeaway that I want people to know, is that we're all still here and just using our voices in different ways.
Absolutely. And Jessica, I want to thank you so much. I'll be honest with you. You're what I'm calling press release. It really grabbed my attention. And as I was doing more research, then I even called you about it. And then when you're telling me all these different stories with that there's a lot more conversation going on about this right now, because let's just face it, COVID has been hard. People also are just in different places in their careers. And sometimes you just want to serve in other ways or try new ventures. And I think that was all captured tonight, just from, again, 3 of our national teachers of the year. And of course, you got to add in Jen, because Jen's still going to rock it in Minnesota where she's at. But it was just great to, have you come on this broadcast tonight. This is very, I would call this a very special edition. This is not the typical content that we do here on the Zag Talk. But I will say this, it was very relevant. And I know there's lots of questions that people have. And I just want to thank you, Charlie and Jessica, certainly Jen and Becca, all for coming on tonight, being able to share your story. So just want to say thanks to you. And I'm going to just switch over now to let everyone know what's going to happen next week.
Thank you.
The Zag Talk Podcast Live. Yeah. Thank you, Jessica. And
Thanks,
Charlie,
everybody.
Thank you as well. And let's tee up what's going to happen next week. And same time, and we are going to be going right here is the next Zag Talk podcast is going to be next week at the same time on Sunday, July 31st at 8 p.m. I'm going to be joined with Shape America TikTok specialist, Michelle Huff. And I know this is kind of a new thing that we're doing, but we're bringing Michelle Huff on. And Michelle, first and foremost, how are you? Great to have you in the house. And it's going to be really, 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 really cool, because why don't you let everyone know what's going to happen next week?
Well, thank you, Guy, for having me on. And Shape America, congratulations to all the National Teachers of the Year. It's been an honor to hear your story, how vulnerable you are and how honest you got with us and the audience. That's what people need. And the thing is, Guy always says, oh, you know, I'm going to hit him with a little bit of zag here, because from my social listening from our National Teachers of the Year, the common theme and takeaway is using your platform, using your voice, and using your opportunities. So what better way than also trying a new thing like TikTok? So that's another platform that you can use to educate, you know, use your content, meet fellow health and PE teachers globally, and, you know, build relationships. So we are going to have TikTok for beginners next Sunday, July 31st at 8 p.m. Central. And I just think that this is going to be something that if you are open-minded with TikTok, then come by, because we can make a TikTok just like that. I'm actually making one right now, so you'll see it posted on my page at Miss Huff _HPE, and then follow Shape America at Shape America on TikTok, because we want to hear your stories and we want to get them out there for other health and physical educators to hear them, and for our students. So that's a little bit, and I'm going to wait, Guy, to see him next week.
All right. So we're looking forward to seeing everyone. And again, you know, just want to thank everyone for tuning in tonight. Michelle, I am so pumped for next week. TikTok for beginners. Obviously, we're going to let everyone know some of the strategies, a little bit of the tutorials of actually how you make the videos, and certainly some of the best practices. And we're going to kick that off next Sunday right here on Zag Talk Podcast Live. I also want to thank all those viewers that tuned in tonight to hear the stories of Jessica, Charlie, Becca, and Jen. It was just really amazing to have tonight, and everyone being so transparent. I know, Michelle, it was very incredible. And we just want to thank everyone for watching, and we'll see everyone next week right here on Zag Talk Podcast Live as we go live about TikTok for beginners. For Michelle Huff, I am Guy Danhoff. We want to thank you for watching right here on the Zag Talk Podcast Live. Good night.
Night.